Hello everyone, welcome to my presentation on the centralized task management application which is currently being designed by the back office development department. Before we begin, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Tanzan Kabir. I currently work as an executive in the back office development department. I worked as the lead developer of this module, and I was educated in computer science from the University of Toronto. So, to start off, allow me to sort of introduce the basic aspects of the software. What is it? What is it supposed to do? What is the aims that we are trying to solve? What are the problems that we are trying to fix in making the software? So, the basic idea is that there are tons of meetings, there are tons of agendas, there are thousands of action points that need to be tracked, managed, and handled. If we were to sort of do this process manually, it would be extremely difficult for us to really sort of manage everything effectively. Eventually, we would not really be able to tell like what exactly has been done, what is yet to be done, what is in progress, who needs to be contacted, who needs to be sort of updated in order to make sure that every piece of work is actually happening as it should be. So the software, it is going to take this entire process of tracking and managing action points that come out of meetings into a digital platform that will allow us to kind of just bring everything to the next level in terms of effective management. So the benefits of having the software is that our ability to really just make everyone accountable in terms of who is assigned what and make sure that there's transparency with respect to how they approach their work. It is to make sure that all of these things can happen effectively. And in overall doing so, we wish to sort of make the whole process of doing things in DSE more efficient and more effective. This will allow better decision making and stronger governance from management, and it will allow them to make all decisions that affect this institution in a more effective manner. Now, allow me to sort of give a hands-on demonstration of the software. Now, the software is specifically hosted on our digital solution for stakeholders platform. Whatever software that is developed by the back office development department is usually hosted specifically on this software, but this module as well. But for this module specifically, you shall be provided with a user ID, a password, and when you log in using that specific user ID and password, you shall be able to access this specific module. When you log in, you shall be greeted with this specific interface, Action Item Overview. Your first task will be to select which specific type of action point you are interested to view. For example, if you wish to see the action points relating to the outcomes from board meetings, simply click on this drop-down and click Board. When you do as such, the data will be loaded, and you shall first be greeted with a preliminary report that will give you some basic statistics and summaries about whatever action points have been assigned until now. For example, we can first off see that 221 action items have been recorded, 141 of them are currently open, and 24 of them are past due, and 80 of them are already implemented. If you wish to see which specific items have already passed their due date, simply click this specific button, and you shall be able to see specifically which items currently are still under process, ongoing, or not yet completed, but have nevertheless passed their given due date. Simply click the button again, and that specific list shall disappear. Afterwards, you'll be able to see a breakdown of who has been assigned how many action points. In this way, we can measure whether or not certain entities have been assigned more work than others, and whether certain entities are probably under more pressure versus the others. Finally, we can see a breakdown of the priority in terms of which action points currently have a very high priority and which ones do not. Finally, once we sort of go down a bit, we can see the specific breakdown of the action points themselves and their constituent data. We can see the title of the action point. We can see from which agenda the action point comes. We can see which meeting from which the action point comes. We can see the date on which the meeting was held. We can see to whom that action point is assigned, the due date, whether it is completed or whether it's ongoing, the priority. And afterwards, we can also see comments which give updates on what exactly is the current status of the action point. If we wish to filter the action points in terms of which have already been implemented and which have been not, we simply click on this drop-down and we select what specific status we wish to view. For example, if we wish to view all non-implemented action points, we click on all but implemented. This will reload the lower table and we can only see those action points which are not yet complete, and in this way we can analyze them further. If, for example, for this specific action point which has been assigned to the NRC, if, let's say, it is currently ongoing and we have certain comments on this specific action point, all we simply do is click remark. We add our remark here and we click the yes button. The comment will now be added, and the assignee to whom the action point has been assigned will get an email which will give them a notification that this specific entity has added a comment on this specific action point. In so doing, the assignee will be able to sort of have a very up-to-date sort of understanding of what exactly is management's and the board of directors' ideas or their current considerations concerning this specific action point. And in this manner, they shall be able to do their task more effectively. Now, let us say that we have a desire to sort of filter through these hundreds of action points and sort of kind of just make sense of the data in a more effective manner. For example, let's say that we are interested in seeing whatever action points concern the data center. When we go to the very bottom of this table, we shall see that each column has a specific search bar. In this way, we can filter the data specifically in terms of that specific column. An additional feature which has been provided is that we can filter data in terms of multiple columns. So, for example, if we are interested in seeing which action points concern the data center and which have specifically been assigned to the CTO, then we filter in terms of data center on the action point title column and CTO on the assignee column. Now we have specifically those action points which concern the data center and have been assigned to the CTO. If we wish to export this as an Excel file, as a report for further viewing or further analysis, then you simply click the Excel button here, and that specific report will be exported for your further viewing. We can see that the Excel file has now been exported, and this can be provided to whoever this data concerns. This more or less summarizes the progress that has been made until now. We have plenty of plans concerning the software going forward. We shall attempt to implement them, and we have a hope to use this software in order to track the performance, to track the KPIs, to track the effectiveness, to track the completion effectiveness, to track how sort of properly these assignees are actually able to do their work, how much time it takes them, whether they are really doing their work effectively. And in this manner, we hope to sort of make sure that DSE is going forward into the digital era with confidence and prowess. I thank you for taking the time to listen to my presentation, and I hope that I was able to effectively convey what is the motivation behind the software. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me at my. Now, the software is specifically hosted on our Digital Solution for Stakeholders platform. Whatever software that is developed by the back office development department is usually hosted specifically on the software, but this module as well. But for this module specifically, you shall be provided with a